What's up, guys? Welcome back to the third episode of The Drum Break, where we talk about everything in, on, and about the percussion world. So, I'm Mike.
I'm Spencer.
So, yeah, what are we doing today?
Well, last week, we went sort of into detail about our experiences with drum corps, and as we talked about, drum corps is a summer outdoor band experience. So this week we were thinking about talking about, you know, the sort of other side of the spectrum, because like us band nerds need something to do during the winter.
Yep.
So we're going to sort of talk about our experiences with Mike with WGI, specifically indoor percussion, and myself with pep band and college drumline.
Yep.
So,
and we'll also talk about our high school experience.
Yeah,
indoor,
a little bit. Yeah.
Our indoor drumline thing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, before we get into that, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Yeah, so we're pretty much everywhere. The only place we are not is Spotify. We're on YouTube. We are also on Podbean. We are on Apple Podcast. We are also on SoundCloud. And if you need help getting to any of those links, you can just go to our Instagram or our Facebook page, and it's The Drum Break Podcast. And that's for everything, you know. The Drum Break Podcast, you should be able to type it into pretty much anything besides Spotify.
MySpace. we don't have MySpace.
No, MySpace or Snapchat.
Yeah. No Snapchat.
But yeah, so you should pretty much be able to, you know, find us anywhere. And, you know, let us know, you know, if you like this, you know, whatever you're listening to on, you know, give us a thumbs up or leave a comment, or you can rate people on Apple Podcast.
Yeah, give us a review.
Yeah, reviews are awesome.
Say like, these guys are awesome. Or I hate them.
Or
they
don't.
Suck.
Right. But so speaking of that, I kind of wanted to do something.
Speaking of hating us?
No, not hating us.
Oh.
Speaking of spreading love.
Oh, yeah. We're all about that.
So we have 2 shout outs today that I wanted to do.
We're doing shout outs.
Yeah. So the G Father, and this is on Apple Podcast. He left an awesome review for us.
Thank you.
The title is, I love it too, As Cool as the Other Side of the Pillow. Come on.
That's tight.
That's tight, right? You know, and he said that, you know, he really liked us and gave us a 5 out of 5.
Awesome.
So yeah, we
thank you.
We wanted to say
what was
thank
his name again?
The G Father.
The G Father, like the Godfather.
Yeah. Or the Gangster Father.
Oh, that too.
And then we also have Leo Treehugger. He gave us a really awesome review too. 5 out of 5. And you know, he wrote a really nice review. So we appreciate both of those reviews. They're really awesome.
Yeah. And thanks. Keep them coming. Like we love feedback, you know?
Yep. And that's not just on where you're listening. Like if you want to go like DM us on Instagram, do it. Hit us up, you know, personally, whatever, if you don't want to do it through our page. But yeah, so keep the good things coming.
Yeah.
Keep the ratings coming. We really do like to see them. And like I said, you know, reach out to us in any way possible. You can even email us, you know,
drumbreakpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. You know, and we want to bring people in on our episode. So I think we're gonna start doing some of that soon here. Yeah. But if you guys want an interview, if you guys, anybody who's listening who does drum stuff, or
if you know anyone who's got some awesome experiences, we'd love to have them.
Yeah, love to have them on. So without further ado, here we go.
There we go.
So yeah,
we can start with your
for sure.
The WGI world.
Okay.
So if you want, you can explain, or I can explain.
Yeah, you explain like what WGI is and what it stands for.
WGI stands for Winter Guard International, which basically I believe it started out as just that. There's, color guard is a part of drum corps and marching band. It's the dancers, the rifle throwers, the flag spinners.
The what are those called? The sabers.
Yeah. Swords. The pointy things. Yeah. So it started as like sort of a way for them to keep up the work that they've been doing over the summer in, I guess, what would be our off season.
Yeah.
Like an athlete has an off season where they train.
Yeah. Well, because, we have like concert band and stuff that we can join, but they don't really have anything. So,
So it's essentially a dance group or a color guard group will perform in a gym or an arena indoors, and they'll have a routine. Usually around 5 to 10 minutes, a little shorter than a marching band show, but they do all the same things they would do. They dance, they spin flags, they throw stuff, and so other sort of sections of the drum corps world were like, hey, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this kind of thing with drumline and now with winds? And so that sort of branched off into the now indoor percussion and indoor winds sort of parts of WGI Winter Guard International, this organization. And there are tons of groups all across the country, high school groups, college groups, independent groups. And it's basically just each section playing like on their own in their own sort of show, and it's great. It's a nice showcase of talent for
it really dives into because most of the people who do WGI are from drum corps. There's a certain few that aren't, such as myself, but I mean there's kids of all ages, and there's, like we said, like there's high school groups that have their own indoor thing, which is freaking killer. And I think that's such an awesome idea in general to have that off-season practice.
Of course,
it's it's also another goal to strive for. It's a good
to keep sort of the train of progress going, so that once the end of the summer hits or the end of the fall hits for a high school marching band, you don't just sort of like flatline or stagnate.
Stop practicing,
you
and
keep having something to work towards. And I think it fills the void of that very well.
I would agree with that. And like I was saying, there are high school groups that do this. Groups in our area, there were so many. I couldn't name them all.
Oh yeah.
I know Manuka High School,
killing it.
Yeah, shout out to all the Manuka kids who are listening. They've come to a bunch of our open houses and freaking killed it. I know most of their battery tech staff over there, which is dope. And then I know I believe
Victor J. Andrew has a pretty robust
good
program.
Yeah. Other high school groups? Do you know?
Does Roweaville have indoor or no?
No, because
you do Pi stuff.
Yeah, Pioneer,
which we can get into.
Yeah. But so those are kind of like the high school groups, and I'm sure there's others that we
that we're forgetting,
name.
Or new programs that have just tried to start up.
There are so many, unlike drum corps, we can name most of the drum corps because there isn't that high school element, too much of it. But with indoor, it's everybody's doing it. Someone's got a group. I would say there's at least 2 or 3 groups per state.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Especially in like even more in, California, Texas,
like the Midwest area is pretty populated.
Midwest. It's like all over the place,
the coasts,
even more so than drum corps.
Easy, yeah. But and then for the like open category for Illinois, there's Pioneer indoor pie percussion, and then there was Cavaliers indoor, which is
no longer,
yeah, and then Crystal Lake Thunder, which
I believe are they A class? We can get into classes, quickly.
They might be A class.
As far as indoor percussion goes, I assume the classes are the same for winds and guard.
I believe so. I think there's also a concert aspect.
Okay.
To the winds and drumline.
But similar to drum corps, their groups are divided in classes based on size, skill level, age, and so there's sort of two main branches. There's scholastic groups, which are made up of high schools, and independent groups, which are, same sort of.
Yeah. So what that comes from is the scholastic part is, so scholastic is you're sponsored by some group of schools, whether that be district or whether that be a single school. That's like the scholastic thing. That's like where you get most of your money from. There are dues that are paid, but the school would help most of that out. And then for the independent part, it is what it is. It's an independent group that doesn't rely on
funded by
the members. So that there is a little bit extra to do that. But within those, that sort of the two main divisions, there's similar to DCI, World and Open class, and also A class. Yep. Which it sort of stacks up. A as more entry level groups, Open as in sort of intermediate level, and then World. Like DCI, the sort of top. The top guys.
Top of the heap. Yeah, the top guys.
Yeah. Anybody can be good.
Oh yeah.
In indoor, like that's the thing. Like, people who are killing it one year could like totally not do it.
Yeah.
And then like new groups who are like kind of there but like not really could freaking kill it and win.
A lot more so than something like drum corps, because Blue Devils have won however many of the last 10 20 championships, but indoor percussion isn't really like that. It seems like a different group is winning every year. There's a lot more variety in like, this group's good this year, this group's not so good. And it makes it like
more fun
and more interesting and engaging to sort of pay attention to the whole season. Kind of like you would a sports team,
Yeah. And speaking of like the sports team and stuff, you do like pep band.
Yes. Which we can get into.
You want to do that later?
A bit later. We can do WGI stuff now. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, go Blurs. Happy birthday, Sister Jean. I believe she just turned like 101.
Right?
A few days ago or a week ago, but yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I could not imagine being 101.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My knees would hurt so bad.
Take how much your knees hurt now and just
times
exponentially.
Dude, you'd have to push me around in a wheelchair. Will you do that when I'm old? Will you push me around? Off a cliff? Bye. Down a hill. See you later.
Done with you.
But yeah, so like that's a little bit about WGI and the different kinds of classes, and like how you can join is pretty much same with drum corps. There is a group for you out there. The audition process is not as extent and crazy as drum corps, but it's still a lot.
Nor is the during the season rehearsal schedule.
Yes.
And we can get
So like joining is just you would get you pay for your audition, you pay for the packet, you practice the packet. Ooh, when did I get that packet? I know I had it for like a good 3 months beforehand. So
probably around September.
Yeah.
August, September.
Yeah, probably like early August, I think, is like when they start to throw some stuff out there. Because I know auditions are in that like November area, right around drum corps auditions. They're almost the same week.
Yeah.
Which is very confusing and very frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then diving into the indoor aspect too. So each group consists of probably about the same amount of members as a percussion section for drum corps. So that's going to be anywhere between 8 to 10 snares. You have anywhere between 3 to 5 quads. My bad. In indoor, you're more likely to see 6 basses. Like now, like that is a big thing or more. There have been 10-man bass lines, which is ridiculous, unneeded, but it is cool. I know 2 groups that did like the 10-man bass line.
What show is that? Like the opener was just bass, all it was crazy.
So that was ridiculous. But yeah, so about anywhere between 5 to 10 bass drums. And then
5 to 10.
That's stupid.
It sounds,
like that's a stupid number, but it's legit. Like it's a legit number. It's happened more than once, so now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing.
Yeah, like so, and yeah, anywhere between 5 to 10 bass, and then a whole front ensemble. You can go anywhere between 4 to 5 marimbas. You got about. I'm trying to think like 4 to 5 vibes. I mean,
and a lot of times drum corps has sort of caught on to this more recently, but a lot of times in indoor percussion, you'll have like a rhythm section, you'll have drum set and guitar and bass, and a lot of shows feature, those instrumentalists. Well,
Pioneer 2017, I believe this was, their show was like bad. And I so wish I could march this show.
Lucifer.
Yeah, Lucifer. I heard a lot of good things about it.
That was the year before you joined?
Yeah, that was the year before I was there, because I was there at 18. But literally, like, the freaking guitar player, like, came out with, like, these giant horns, and everybody had horns. It was sweet. These giant horns playing the Eruption solo.
Like the tapping part,
Yeah, and he's dragging, like, this cart with like Lucifer on it, and
like a chariot.
Yeah, like a chariot. Yeah, and he's just
from the
like
underworld.
Yep, exactly. And he's like dragging him along as he's like playing. It's super sweet.
There's another Rhythm X's show, I think 2 years ago or so.
Yep.
I think, did he also play Eruption?
Possibly.
There was a guitar player, and he was like lifted, I think, by a crowd of like the members, and during one section he was just laying back playing the Eruption thing, and it was crazy. But yeah, a lot more sort of contemporary instrumentation in the indoor percussion world.
Yeah, drum set is bigger in indoor than it is
for sure.
than it is anywhere else, and I appreciate that so much.
Awesome.
Like there's nothing better than like a breakdown with just like a fat backbeat on the drum set.
There's so many, killer guys out there playing drum set for these groups.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So speaking of killer guys, for drum set, Fat Boy on the Beat. Shout out to Fat Boy on the Beat. He was our drum set player at 18, and then I think, did he play in 19 too? Yeah, I think he played in 19 too. But yeah, so I'll get into a little bit of like how I got into this. So sit back and relax, enjoy my smooth voice.
Enjoy some H.
Some H. Thank you to our sponsors.
H, yeah.
The H in H2O. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Love the H. You can tell when there's like some high quality H in that water.
Yeah,
like
it
just tastes better.
Like there's a lot of O, but like the O always gets the hype. Like that's why we're so thankful.
Show the H some love.
Yeah, like that's why we're so thankful to have the H as like our sponsor.
So, anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, Yeah, so I started doing this indoor thing kind of like, well, like a little last minute. Our percussion instructor at the time had taught an indoor group that is no longer. He taught evolution, and he was like, he always really did love the indoor arts, and a lot of our techs actually either teched there or played there, which was super cool. And I'm so mad that it got
it's not
canceled
a thing anymore. Yeah,
because I totally would have joined.
Oh yeah,
just
same.
for the history. Like I totally would have done it. So like the next thing, the next group that I could audition for was Pioneer Indoor, and Pioneer Indoor has an awesome rep of putting out some different shows, and you know, we are the Clover, man. We are the Pie Clover. And yeah, this group is it definitely holds a special spot in my heart, considering I was the last group to march under that name. That makes it that hits home a little bit harder for me. You know, but yeah, man. Adam Hill, the Adam Hill, is the director for Pioneer Indoor, or now Pie Percussion. Also, I'm not going to be saying Pioneer Indoor all the time. I'm just going to call it Pio. Yeah, Pio or Pie. Yeah. So 2018, I auditioned for Pio, and dude, this was like my first real audition outside
even before drum corps. You were auditioning.
Yes, this was before drum corps. This was like my senior year in high school. You know, I was like, I want to do something different. Like, I don't want to be like doing the same senior thing, because like I liked it. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved doing it and I missed it, but you know, I wanted a challenge. I had just come off of our best season. Yeah, you know, at that point, right? Because that had been our best drumline season.
Our best score, you know.
Yeah, best score.
Our last show.
Highest score overall that, you know, we ever had, our last show. So I was like, I was on the hype and I was ready to go.
What else?
I was like, I don't want to put it down.
Next?
Yeah, like I don't want to put it down. So I was like, all right. You know, I was talking to me, you know, my drum instructor was talking to me, and he's like, hey man, he's like, I think you should do indoor. It's a cool thing. You know, Pioneer Indoor. Like, I know I marched with one of the techs that's there. His name is Nick. Cool dude. But like, he was like, you know, whatever. I was like, all right, cool, for sure. Like, I'll look into it. That was a mistake. Cause I went.
Now you're obsessed.
Yeah, like now I'm like the indoor guy, I guess, which is cool. You know, in our area,
all the students make fun of you for it.
Yeah. Especially when I came off of like that second year. Because I have it so ingrained into my head. Like that's all I do.
Oh, this is how you do it in indoor?
Yeah,
you know, trying to.
And I'm like, yes, actually, that's how we do it. But yeah, man. So like I went to this audition like by myself, and it was just me. Like, my parents came with me, and dude, that day it had rained so hard, like to the point where you couldn't see. I'm like driving to this place I've never driven before.
It's the worst.
Yeah, like, and it sucked. But like I got there, dude, I was so scared. I was so nervous. Like, I was did I start out auditioning for snare?
I don't know.
Let me see. That was, yep. So I auditioned for snare, and I got cut like immediately,
right away.
Yeah, like it was like I was there for like probably like 3 hours on a Saturday. Oh yeah, so rehearsals are Friday nights and all day Saturday, 13-hour all day Saturday rehearsal. But yeah, I don't think it was actually a Friday night. I think we did it like a Saturday.
The audition was a Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong though. It might have been a Friday night. But like I went there, and dude, like, showed up, did this, like, tried to audition for snare. Like, dude, a bunch of vets came back that year.
Yeah, that was an old line.
Yeah. A bunch of like 4 vets, I think, or something like that, came back, if my brain is remembering correctly. And then some of them didn't end up doing it. So I think there was like 2 vets or whatever from that previous year, or 3 vets or whatever. But it was like a super connected group because like everybody knew everybody from somewhere.
And you're just someone trying to, sort of break into the community.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like and
that's scary. I feel that,
Yeah, man. It's hard to like to show up somewhere and not know anybody, like by yourself. Like I didn't even know like where I was in Illinois. I'm like, what?
Wait, Illinois looks like this,
right? Like it's crazy. But yeah, so it took me like about an hour and a half, whatever, to drive down there, and I'm there, and we're doing the audition, and they're like, oh, sign in, da 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 da, da, and then they gave us a talk. And so that night we were like auditioning for snare, and I was like all fine and dandy, and then that next morning, on Saturday morning, I believe, we like got into a meeting, and then I think like the snare tech at that point, he came up to me and he's like, hey man, like, you're on the lower end of who we're looking at right now. It's between you and like 2 other people, and you're the higher of the 2, but there's another kid who's auditioning for snare, but he sent in a video audition, and I was so mad because I was like, I showed up. Like, what do you mean?
I could have sent in a video audition.
Like, yeah, like I could have sent in a video audition and gotten a spot. Like, what? He was like, yeah, there's this other kid and he's really good, and we think we're gonna go with him. He's like, do you want to audition anywhere else? And at that point, I had like auditioned, or I went over the snare music and the bass music, and so I was like super. I was super. That
was
good on
only
both.
One season after we had marched bass in high school.
Yeah.
So you were still familiar.
Yeah, still familiar with like technique and stuff. So I thought. So I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, you know what? I was like, if I knew I was gonna get cut, I was like, there's no freaking way. I went home that night, Friday. I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get cut. I think I'm gonna get a spot. And then that like around lunchtime, it was like, no. I was like, all right, well, I'll go audition for bass and we'll see. Okay, the bass room was the sickest room ever. We had 3 techs, super laid back, crazy laid back, and then like super scary. But they all turned out to be awesome people. So like we were auditioning, dude, and I was so freaking scared because there was guys who like came in with the chain, and they, I could tell, I'm like, these are big guys, like big people. I was like, there's no freaking way. So I ended up like the whole bass line, right, started out. Everybody who auditioned for bass got cut. Okay. We had 2 tenor cuts, a snare cut, a guy who wasn't going to march that season. He was going to come in just as a tech, Adrian, and then Taryn. Taryn was the only one who auditioned for bass. And everybody else got cut. So the bass line ended up being a bass line that didn't want to play bass. We had Kira on bass 1. We had Beryl on bass 2. Beryl's the Jesus guy. We had Taryn on 3. Adrian was on 4, and I played bass 5.
Bass 5.
Which I don't play bass. I have never played bass 5 before then. So, dude, like that season, like we were so bad. We were so bad in the beginning. Because we didn't have that vibe. Like, yeah. There's one thing I love about bass, and like is you need to have a vibe. Like there has to be a vibe.
You have to be connected, like more so than other sections.
100%. Because you're not only playing one drum, you're playing 5, but you're not playing.
You're playing one part of one part.
One part, yeah. Like it's ridiculous. And you and I like that's why I think like our bass line in high school, like when we marched, was so good, is because we had like that connection.
We sort of fostered that sort of environment in the bass line. Yeah. And like if you have that, your line can be killer, but if you're like one step below like that line, then it's all over.
So like as we started to like vibe together, we got really good. like stupid fast. Like, and you know, and Adrian had marched tons of indoor beforehand. Kira came from Romeoville, so she's been dealing with Adam and the way things roll.
Dealing with Adam.
You know what I meant. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
involved with Adam's, you know, way of teaching.
Uh-huh.
And same with Taryn, and Adrian also came from Romeoville. So those three kids were always from Romeoville, came from Romeoville, and two of them had already, Taryn and Adrian, marched previous PIO years. And Beryl was from Manuka, which is like kind of close, and they know about each other, and Manuka's kids are really good too. But yeah, dude, we like super vibed together, and like it was like a big family. Like us five were like, we went everywhere together. We had like base dinners, and like we were always hanging out, and like, dude, to this day, like that bass line was like they're like my family, man.
Yeah.
Like all those guys there. But like, yeah, so that was 2018. That show was My Life in Boxes.
Yes.
Yep. Take Me Somewhere. You know.
There's videos. Look it up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
On YouTube, look it up. Yep. 2018 Pioneer Indoor. My Life in Boxes. That was my first indoor show, dude. Oh my God. I probably lost like 10, 15 pounds.
Oh man.
I got like super weird too, because like I had never done anything like this. Like I was used to like this roll step, and then they're like,
for marching band.
they're like, no, toe down.
We do ballet here.
I'm like, what? So like we had a whole ballet routine.
Yeah.
I knew it. Like I don't know it anymore, but like I practiced for like a whole good solid like 2 or 3 weekends, like a whole routine that we had to do. And like, dude, the physical aspect of like indoor is crazy. You have to have like ridiculous core, you know, because you're up on your pretty much your tiptoes the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, like the balls of your feet, and it's just like it's so crazy, and it's so fast. And not only do you have to worry about how fast it is, what, like making sure you're toe down, standing up straight, smiling, you know, especially with bass. Anytime you flip, you know, your head goes to the crowd. It's instant. It's like, it's ridiculous. But then you have to worry about the tarp. So for indoor, you are marching on like a vinyl. That's like really the only way I can explain
a tarp.
it. Yeah, like a vinyl tarp, and it's freaking huge. It covers an entire gym floor.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's got some sort of crazy design on it, and it weighs like 300 pounds.
Oh yeah, when you roll it up, it's just
so I think that year, I think that year I was on tarp duty. I think I was tarp that year. Because I was props the next year, so I was tarp, and I hate tarp. It's so annoying. It's such a stressful thing, because like you have to run with this 300-pound tarp across the floor,
roll it out, pull it out, center it, get all of the air out from underneath. That's like one of the biggest visual aspects of the show. Is the tarp,
100%.
You know? So if you mess up, if it's a little off center,
and that all of that has to be done within, I want to say 30 seconds. It's got to be done. An entire,
because nothing else can happen until that tarp goes down.
Exactly. Unless you like have weird things and don't use a tarp, which there have been groups that have done that. So yeah, dude, rolling out that tarp was like so freaking hard. But yeah, we vibed out, and it was like, it was so weird, dude, because it was such a different culture than I was used to. And it was so cool because like, and you know, we had done pep band and, you know, like dram. we dram in the gym before, but like never like this. Like it was super crazy. But you know, that year like changed my life and the way I like approach drumming now. Like I learned so much, and I was 100 times better when I came out, you know, and like it was ridiculous. That show, like, dude, it freaking changed my life. Like, no pun intended, my life in boxes. Like, so the bass line, we had a like a hype thing that we'd throw out in the lot, and it was a license plate that we had found.
Yeah, where'd you get it?
I don't know. It
showed up. It fell off a truck.
Yes. It was on the ground. We did not take it off a car. We did not take it off a car.
Someone else did.
It was on the ground when we found it, and it said B truck, like bass truck, B truck. And
That's
so we're
funny.
like, dude, this is hype. We have like pictures and stuff. Oh, dude, I should have brought some pictures out. But yeah, like our uniform was dope. We had cajones in that show.
Boxes.
Yep, that had like the snare wires taken out. And we were listening to one of the judges' tapes, and they're like, because we had like mountains of boxes behind us as like our props, and we like not us, but the snares and tenors went back to like the back of the boxes, and we're like grabbing boxes, and one of the judges is like, oh, like they're grabbing boxes, like why are they going back there? Like there's nothing back there but props.
Yeah.
And we pulled out like these box painted cajones and like started killing it, and we had
the judge is like,
whoa, yeah, he was like, whoa, he's like, cajones, no way, like that's such a good idea, and like they like loved it, dude. It was super sick.
That's funny.
So yeah, dude, Friday nights from like I think it was like 5 to 10, like every night, dude. It was or like 5 to 9, 5 to 10 every night on Friday nights, and then I would drive home. I didn't sleep at anyone's house. Some people did, but like I'd drive home, and then I'd get up at like 7:30.
However early, yeah.
Like 7:30, and drive back down to Romeoville, an hour there and an hour back. Then at 10 or whatever at night, come back home. So I was driving there and back 4 times, an hour each. So I was driving 4 hours every weekend to go like drum.
Yeah.
And there were people who came from Wisconsin.
Even further than you, yeah.
Like an extra like 2 hours, dude. So that's ridiculous. But so yeah, that was my 2018 year, in a nutshell, sort of. Just like the whole vibe of indoor and like traveling on this bus with all these people, doing this thing every weekend. Like I got a little homesick every once in a while, because like I missed like hanging out with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Like on the weekends, like I had no weekends. Anytime
None.
anyone
From like December to April.
Yep.
Nothing.
No, like I could never hang out with anybody. But yeah, so there's regionals that are held all across the country. We went to I think like 3 that year, and then we have an open house, and then we have WGI finals, which are in Dayton, Ohio. There are tons and tons of stories I have from that. I won't say a lot of them because I just don't have I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But a couple short stories. We had rehearsal in like the back of a Walmart. We set up tarp, props, truck,
the whole shebang.
Yeah, like all of our instruments, and had like a 2 or 3 hour rehearsal.
No one like called the cops.
No, like outside.
No employees were like.
No, the employees came outside and were loving it.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
On their break, they would come out and watch us, and like they were like, "This is so awesome," and so much that the manager of the whole like thing was like, "Hey guys, like here's some food.
Do you want some free stuff?"
Yeah. So they like set out like a whole table, folding table.
That's crazy.
Of like juice and Gatorade and water, and then like sub sandwiches, like a whole bunch of them, dude. It was awesome. So I know nobody from Walmart is watching this or listening.
Yeah, where was that Walmart? We got a shout out.
It was the Walmart in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, in Dayton. Okay.
Yeah, next to I believe it was a Motel 8 or something like that. So shout out to Walmart.
The manager
at Walmart,
the employees,
like everybody there, dude. Like they let us like hang out and like rehearse outside in the back of Walmart. Like it was so funny, dude. They're like, they opened the back door for us. They're like, if you guys need to use the bathroom, just go to like the employee thing in the back. And we're like, this is so sick. So that's a good one. And then our freaking bus broke down, like I was saying, at like on our way to semifinals. Not on our way. We didn't even.
You didn't make it.
We didn't even start the bus. It wasn't even starting. And dude, the whole suspension on the bus was messed up anyways. But like
put it out of its misery.
Yeah, pretty much. So we had to Uber like what like 30
like
or 40
50,
50 kids like in full uniform costume, whatever
They
uniform.
didn't have Uber XL back then either.
I don't think so. No.
So it was just like
We had
how many, like 20 sedans like rolling up.
Yeah, dude. Well, like minivans and stuff.
Minivans, yeah.
Yeah. So the entire bass line and the director of Pioneer all went in like this guy's minivan. And dude, we took this sweet group picture, and it's like us like, hey, like in this van in uniform, like on our way to our freaking practice or onto the show. And dude, yeah, it was awesome. So awesome that next year I had to do it again. And I auditioned for snare again, and I got cut again.
At least you tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But so yeah, that next year then it became pie percussion, and we had, I think, all of the bass vets besides one. Yeah. That was then Vince, and then bass 4 left, Adrian. So we had Beryl, Taryn, and myself on 2, 3, and 4. Vince, who played bass 1, who is like right down the street from us at
awesome kid.
Prospect.
Yeah,
like,
killing it at Prospect.
Like super cool kid. Yeah, now I think he's at like Drake University or something that. And then we had my buddy Will Lawton, which is
my middle name.
Yeah.
Not related in any way.
No. But so that was a whole nother season because like us 3 vets were already vibing together. So like the middle section of the bass was like freaking killing it. And I loved playing 4. I had never played an upbeat drum before until that year. And like, it was super, super awesome, dude. And we used brand new Tama drums.
Yeah, you ditched the Dynasty.
Yeah, we ditched these ratty Dynasties we had. Like, thanks, for
the drums that was 10
but,
feet above your head.
But yeah, so 2019 rolled around. That was Recess show.
Recess.
Is
that the name, Recess?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one big, giant party. Our 2 oldest vets at that point, Eddie and Mickey, which are the equivalent to us.
Yeah.
They
shout out Space Show Podcast.
Yeah.
Go give them a listen if you're interested in this. You might want to hear some of what they have to say.
Yeah. So the Space Show Podcast. Yeah. That's run by Eddie. Eddie and Mickey are in it, and then their buddy that I don't really know too well. I've heard tons and tons of stories about him. But yeah, so Mickey and Eddie were like, it was Mickey's last thing. He was aging out, man, and so like it was
like his last thing ever.
Yeah,
like he wasn't gonna march
anymore.
Core,
Yeah, core, indoor, nothing. So like he was like, it was like sad, but Eddie was really awesome because like he was trying to keep everybody up. And before that though, like that 2018 season, I'd never talked to those 2 guys.
Oh yeah.
Like I totally thought they hated me. Like I was like, oh man,
because you were new and they were like older vets, and
so the weird thing was I was like, okay, I'm new, I'm gonna be quiet, I'm not gonna like be too loud and crazy. So and then I talked to them that 19 season, and they're like, no, we want you to be excited, we want you to be like in our face and like loud and tell us what you want and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is so,
because they were like leading the line at that point.
Yeah,
they even the year before, I think too, right?
18 and 19 they had led the line. Yeah, but so it was just like one big party. We had a jungle gym, we had a freaking teeter-totter.
And those giant, exercise balls or whatever they were, beach balls.
Yeah, we had giant, exercise balls that had, the like, nubs on them, the, spike nubs.
Yeah.
And then we had a giant slide, playground slide thing. It was so sweet. So the bass line is the Slide Crew. That was our name, yep. So our motto was the Slide Crew, doing the Slide Crew thing. So
great, awesome. That's great.
But yeah, those balls, man. Like seriously, there was so much choreography that went into to throwing the ball and catching it at a certain time. Yeah, but like
there were different sizes, and you gotta like gravity's gonna work different ways, and
and it was, dude, it was like that was probably the most fun season. Like my first season was my hardest working season ever in my life. That season was the funnest season because like Eddie was in such a good mood trying to pick everybody up and like super cool. And then, we were all trying to do it for Mickey, but yeah, so I started this show like when they announced us. I started every show with my shoe untied because like there's always that one kid who's like playing in the playground and
you had to tie your shoe.
Yeah, so so the one of the texts was like, you should tie your shoe, haha, it'll be funny. And I was like, I was like, bet. And every show I started, I did that.
That's
nobody
funny.
noticed. One time they noticed and they're like, have you been tying your shoe this whole time? But like as we start the show, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's what you told me to do. And she was like, it was a joke. And I was like, don't tell me to do something because I'll do it. Like if you want me to do it, I'll do it. So I freaking like on the jungle gym tied my shoe.
Someone's gonna be tying their shoes at recess.
Yeah, dude, we had like in the show we had like dance parties in the show. We played rock paper scissors. We played like
a conga line or something at some point.
Yeah, we had like a conga line. Dude, it was like a big party. It was freaking sick. It was so dope. So that year we had only made it to prelims, and we were like super pissed and super sad because like we were trying to get to finals. Everybody loved our show, but like unfortunately like we had a lot of issues with staff and stuff that year, that and some members were a little iffy, but most of them were pretty good. But yeah, it kind of fell through, dude. Like I think we had too much of a party that season. And then 2020 that's the season that would technically be. Yeah, this year.
That would have happened.
Yeah, that would have happened. That was a dope show. We had awesome uniforms I'm so pissed because I didn't get to march. I only marched one freaking regional with it. The half capes. And I love the half capes.
Yeah.
I want them on every uniform I marched. I love them. I think they're dope. So the show was called Distance that year, and this was my first year. I was like, I was not gonna go back. And then we had seen two bass vets at our ISU show,
marching band. Yeah,
that we did for the high school we teach at, and then they were like, come on,
dude,
come back. And I was like, God, guys, I don't really have the money. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. Like my last season, like I'll do this and then I'll age out or whatever. I'll go do that season. This season got freaking cut short. We had 6 bass drums. But unfortunately we had a lot of tech issues that year as well. None of them showed up. So we pretty much taught ourselves, which was a blessing and a curse. We were slacking in the beginning because we didn't know how to start. We didn't have that vibe with those guys yet.
Yeah.
There's a certain vibe you had to fit, but yeah, dude. So we showed up to our first regional, freaking killed it. Like all of the vets who like watched us were like, yo, you guys are like really good. And we were playing some like goofy stuff, like weird,
straight goofy.
Yeah, straight goofy. Like what? Like some stuff that like I would not have written any way for a drum thing ever. And that's shout out to Corey for that one. He marched a bunch of different places. Marched Pio, marched X. But yeah, so dude, like WGI has brought me tons and tons of different friends now that I have all across the country, and I've traveled to places I never would have went to, and like I don't know, dude, like I have so much more knowledge and information about things. But like, so like shout out to like Pio and then Pi Percussion, but like yeah, so just like drum corps, we get the necklaces for each show.
You got your keys.
Yeah, the keys that was something that I guess I started for our first 18. We had the home key, and then we had this red ball key. But yeah, we have our charm with our pie charm, and then our show beads. But yeah, man, this necklace is like doesn't mean just like I was there and did the thing.
Yeah.
Like this thing has so much meaning, and like the whole experience itself has so much meaning to me. Like if I would never take a single one of those years back ever, like not any decision I made, like nothing. Like I would want it to play out exactly how it did, because like I grew so much as a person and as a player, you know. But yeah, so like that's kind of like my indoor story, you know. It's something that I really hold dear. And while I was doing the last 2 years of indoor, you were on the gang of the indoor band.
Yes, similar,
yeah.
similar but different.
Yeah.
Drumming in the gym. I had started at Loyola, and that was the year, similar to how you kind of missed a really cool year of indoor with the Lucifer show.
Yeah.
The year before, I had missed the historic Loyola Final Four run.
Dang.
In the NCAA tournament by 1 year. And that was crazy. Even just like that year before, when we were, I don't know if you're like a huge college basketball fan.
I'm not.
But it was insane. I'm sure you've heard, you know, enough to know.
Yeah.
Complete underdogs. I think, I don't know what I don't even remember what seed we were, but very low. No one expected anything of us, but then we just like came and crushed it and got to the Final Four, and it was crazy. But I missed that year by 1 year. And that sort of thrusted the idea of college pep band into my mind, because there was a lot of coverage on them, you know, on ESPN and all those, you know, things that were streaming the games. You'd see the pep band would travel to all these, you know, all these tournaments, and it did kind of play a role into what school I was choosing, because I wasn't really sure yet if I wanted to continue like doing the college band thing, or maybe move more towards like my own sort of independent music career. But seeing all that kind of stuff and remembering how much fun pep band was in high school, which was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, that was like that it's like a free for all, dude. It's so sick. It's so
crazy.
Sick.
But that sort of played into my decision of wanting to say, hey, Loyola is an awesome school academically, but it also has, you know, this some cool other stuff included, in which is the pep band. So I believe we started rehearsals. There was no audition. It was if you want to join, you can join.
That's cool.
Which it's awesome. You get a lot of people varied in skill, which is, you know, good and bad.
Good and band.
Good and band. You know, of course you want to sound good, and you know, but unlike something like WGI, we're not competing.
Yeah.
I get the team is competing.
Yeah.
And
well, like did you ever like encounter like other bands?
Oh yeah.
So like
I can talk more about that. Yeah, I guess
it's not judged, but there's in
our heads it's like we got to outplay these fools, but I can talk more about that when we get into the tournament scene.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's definitely a different vibe, but I think, you know, the open sort of membership is good for the type of thing that it is. So yeah, I came in as a freshman. I think our first rehearsal, like the first open rehearsal / meeting, was somewhere in the beginning of September, because the season doesn't start until like November, December.
Yeah.
And I got to the meeting and I was like the only drummer there.
I remember you telling me that. You were like kind of freaked out because you didn't know
Yeah,
if
because the previous year, the like Final Four band, I guess, Final Four band,
yeah.
Final Four team, their drummer had just graduated. Like he's 4 years older than us.
Yeah.
So he was like the main guy ever since he got there.
Yeah.
And he graduated, so there was like an open drum set spot. So I showed up to the first rehearsal and I was like the only one there, which was crazy. And the director, Mr. Lowe, Dr. Lowe, is an awesome guy.
That's a sweet name.
Yeah.
Does he have a low voice?
It's about like a medium voice, but he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Doctorate from Northwestern because he's a doctor.
Dr. Lowe, yeah.
Dr. Lowe. But he's great. He was like the pep band director through the Final Four stuff, director of the wind ensemble and everything. But he would like sort of, I don't know, expect me to just like be able to do things.
Yeah.
Like I had been, like I was the guy that just graduated. It's like, oh, Spencer, do, the fight song and start it and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me like, especially now, like you quickly became like the guy.
Oh yeah. Especially for pep band, because like that first rehearsal, I was the only one there and the only drum set person. I had to find, the drum set wasn't set up. I had to like go find where it was, and me just random freshman wandering around the music wing, So anyways, Dr. Lowe was great. He was there for the first few rehearsals, but that was actually also it was going to be his last year, or it was his last year the previous year.
Dang.
So we got him for like, I don't know, a month or so until the new director was hired, who is also awesome and has a cool name too, Patrick Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, who knows one of our other friends, but he's the new director now and he's great. He's awesome. I think he's the band director at Noble Academy in Chicago, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got him, and getting back into that sort of rehearsal scene. By the second rehearsal, it was like almost the complete opposite of the first one. There were probably, I don't know, 20 percussionists who showed up. Yeah.
Dang.
It was crazy. And Dr. Lowe was kind of like, well, we mainly use drum set. It's like, it would be weird to have all these percussionists. Like, he didn't want to turn them away, but, what are you going to do? And so a few of us were like, well, we also wanted to do this because, we did drumline in high school and that was cool. And we wanted to, try to do some sort of drumline here. And he's like, oh, well, that would be cool. There was a drumline here in the past, but it's not really been a thing anymore. And so, like, me and two other people stayed after because we were, like, really into it. We stayed after the rehearsal and asked him, he's like, hey, so there used to be a drum line here. Are there any drums here? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we have like a essentially brand new set of Yamahas.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
4 bass, 5 snare, 2 quads somewhere. He didn't know where they were. Somewhere on campus.
Oh, so like not even in the music
No.
wing,
No. Yeah. So me and these 2 other girls like went on a drum hunt like through campus. We dug through all the music department stuff.
Ugh.
We found like the band-aid person had like keys to all the music department stuff, so we were asking her for help, and like we couldn't find anything. And so she said, well, they used to keep them in like a closet in the main arena.
Oh my god.
Like the Gentile arena.
Yeah.
So why don't we go check there? And at that point, we were all freshmen. All the new percussionists were all freshmen.
Yeah.
And so we had...
Oh my god. So everybody was a freshman?
Yeah. So 3 freshmen, we had no clue what we were doing. Wandering into the area that is like specifically for like the Division 1 athletes.
Yeah.
And we're walking around and people like the track is set up and people are running and like people getting back from the gym, and then there's these 3 just like band nerds coming like, hey, do you know where the drums are?
Have you guys seen any drums around here?
But no, it was awesome. We were making jokes like, "Hey, well, we're in the pep band. We travel with the basketball team. We're basically D1 athletes."
You are. I would consider you one.
You know.
Yep.
But we eventually found them, and you know,
were they like unboxed or like?
No, they had used them. I think like a year or 2 prior.
Okay.
But they were new like that year when they got them.
Okay.
So they had like used them for 2 years and then didn't, and then we got there. So they all in cases, all pretty much brand new stuff.
Wow.
And so we started using them like during games and stuff, and it was awesome. And yeah, so I guess I can talk about the whole sort of game situation.
Yeah, you like pretty much made the drumline, what it is at Loyola now, like, and it's still going strong, right?
Yeah. Well, still, we're not sure what's going on currently, but as of last year, we got a pretty tight knit group of people, and it's really awesome there. We got like a cool like vibe with drum set and drum line together.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we play at all of the home games.
Nice.
We have to be there, however many minutes early or half an hour early to set up. We get our own entrance into the arena, which is cool. And yeah, it's an awesome vibe. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
A lot of my good friends are from Pet Band. And the games are just like awesome to be at.
Super hype.
Because you have something like the thing about college basketball is, you have like the big schools like Duke or UNC, and like that's awesome to have like essentially an NBA level team that you're playing for.
Yeah.
But all of it doesn't feel very like personal because you're in this like huge arena and it's like essentially like a professional level thing. But at Loyola, we have like a high caliber team, but the arena is like not that big.
But it's still packed.
But that's the thing. Because it's not that big, it sells out almost every game.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy loud and the energy is insane.
Right.
And it's awesome. But yeah, so that's how the seasons go. Recently, the drumline and percussion section started doing like theme days, where usually we have not this shirt, but we have a polo and the scarves. The scarves are important, almost like your necklace, you know, has a very very special to me, But we have like the polos that we wear as our uniform.
Yeah.
But recently, the percussionists thought it would be a cool idea. Oh, what if we did theme days?
All right. What are some theme days?
What if we did, one day we did a Hawaiian day. I think that was our beach day.
Okay.
That was our first theme, and it was great. I wore our shirt from our high school Hawaii trip that we got in Hawaii. Yeah.
Nice.
And we had Western Day, which was funny. I got like the flannel and all that cowboy hat. We had a dad day. So I actually wore my dad's shoes, like the chunky like white sneakers, the classic lawn mowing shoes.
Like the New Balance.
Yeah. I did the cargo pants.
Okay.
The tucked in t-shirt.
All right.
But yeah, it's just we are the coach of the basketball team, Porter Moser, has become sort of a character, an identifiable figure.
Yeah.
And every game there's like this sort of timeline of events. He's a really cool guy. But he gets very heated.
Yeah.
So like the start of the game, he's all like, riling the team up, getting everyone ready for the game. and then he just sort of like is like stoic and serious during the first like quarter or half, and then like if the game starts going not how he wants it to go, he takes his jacket off.
Okay.
And that's when you know at that point of the game, if Porter Moser takes his jacket off, stuff's about to go down.
So do you guys like go crazy and
so yeah, we one game was like Porter Moser day, so we wore jackets, and whenever he took it off, we took the jackets off.
Did he
and like
notice?
flip the switch. I don't remember.
Okay.
But that's also another cool thing because at the end of every game, he comes up, like the team comes and walks by the front row of the crowd and like high fives and everything, which is cool. And then Porter Moser, the head coach, comes up and like thanks the band specifically.
That's cool.
You know, and it's awesome, like to be appreciated like that.
Yeah, dude, it's like the little things that, you know, that people see and do to help out like us. Like I know, you know, just saying thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Like just those words.
You know, we would be doing what we're doing anyways because we love it and it's awesome and it's part of who we are.
Exactly.
But, you know, getting that little recognition,
yep,
validation is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's how the season usually goes, and if we, well, yeah, I guess if we do well, we usually do enough to make the Missouri Valley Conference tournament.
Cool.
Which I haven't talked much about the women's team, but the women's team we play for their games too. And
nice.
So there's two tournaments. The men's tournament is in St. Louis, and the women's tournament is in Moline, Illinois.
Moline.
One of the Quad Cities.
Welcome to Moline.
Shout out Moline. And that's funny. I can get into a little bit later, but the St. Louis trip is always a blast, you know.
Yeah. You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, we share from our indoor drumline experience.
Yeah, drumming in the gym.
Yeah, gym drumming. You know, that our one of our big regionals is St. Louis as well, and so that's kind of cool that, like, you know, I think weren't we like
I think we were there at the same time,
like
at
the
one
same
point.
time,
yeah.
or like you were there, like I was there one weekend,
like overlapped,
and you went there like the next, like just a couple days, like I was going, and you were, you know, something like that. But yeah.
But that's always fun. We always have, you know, some crazy times in the hotel rooms and at the games. And like what you were saying earlier about the bands competing, both for the tournaments, both bands come for like each team.
Yeah.
So you have our band on one side of the gym and the other band on the other side of the gym. And, you know, pep band repertoire isn't very vast. There's a lot of songs that everyone plays.
Yeah.
So if we ever like play the same song as someone, or someone plays the same song as us, we always get like freaked out. It's like, oh man, we played it better. We gotta, you know, whatever.
Do you guys ever like play stuff together? Like if you both know the same song, or
no? We should
sweet.
do that.
That'd be sweet.
But you know, there's always that sort of
Yeah.
friendly competition with the other bands, and it's cool to see like the other bands from other universities.
Do you guys like hang out when you go to those competitions or those?
Not really. We
No.
mainly stay to our own band. I
Okay.
mean, it would be
Like-
cool if we did.
like
yeah.
after or whatever. Like
Oh yeah, we
in
like
the hotel. Do you guys like stay in like? Have you ever stayed in the same hotel as like,
other bands.
Yeah.
No, I think we've stayed in the same hotel as like the team.
Oh, okay.
And the dance team who also comes on the trip, which is cool. And we have like little pep rallies in the hotel lobby before all the games, and it's so sick.
Yeah.
For the tournaments, they just send usually 2 drummers because you can have a certain number of people.
Yeah.
And so it's usually me and Nick, this other guy.
Yep.
But for the pep rallies in the lobby, like we don't want to set up the drum set because it's like, you know, 20-30 minutes. It's not
That's a
worth
lot,
it.
yeah.
So we bring like a bass and a snare, and we just like drop some beats,
Some dank beats.
and it's awesome. But yeah, that's so the men's tournament in St. Louis, and that's awesome. we haven't made it past that tournament since,
Yeah.
the Final Four run. But that's the men's tournament in St. Louis, and then the women's tournament is in Moline, which is a whole nother vibe, just as good but very different. It's like our hotel that we've stayed at for the past 2 years is in the middle of nowhere, literally. Like it's a flat. I think 2 years ago it was like a construction site.
Okay.
And then last year it was just like open, like plain and nothing. And then like you got the Mississippi River on the other side, and this like obelisk of a hotel just like sticking out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, that's our hotel. It's like, is that the only hotel?
It's like everybody stays there.
Yeah. But no, funny story from that is like when we got there, it was like nighttime and we had dinner like on the way, but I was still hungry. So the hotel had like a gift, or not a gift. Well, it was a gift shop, like combined with like a little food mart place. And I was looking around for something to eat, and it was like they had mac and cheese, like the little craft like things you put in the microwave water. So I'm like, oh, I'll get this. I have these, I had these in high school after school if I wanted a quick snack. That's awesome. And the guy that was staying in my room with me, he's like, are you sure you're gonna be able to like cook that? And I was like, yeah. What's the problem? And he's like, well, we don't know if our room will have a microwave yet. And I'm like, if they're selling this like microwavable thing, they have to have microwaves in the room. They didn't have microwaves in the room. They did have. So what I ended up doing is I filled it up in the bathroom sink. Or no, I filled it up in the bathroom sink, and then they had a coffee maker. So I like poured it into the coffee maker to heat up the water, and like tried to mix it in, and it did not work. It was like the noodles were still crunchy, but I like had to eat it because I was hungry, and we were about to go to rehearse. And I was like, I just have to like choke this down because I need something in my stomach. But that was funny. And the Moline trip's always, we get to spend half a day in downtown Moline, which is fun. It's like a small town-ish kind of vibe. Same with St. Louis.
I don't really know. When we go on trips, places, WGI Finals is the only exception. But like when we go to regionals, we're in a gym. We're sleeping.
Well, yeah, because you're on like a big time crunch. Yeah, because you get there and then you got to rehearse and compete and then get out.
Yeah, so like we get there and sometimes like not even that, dude. Like this, I can't remember what regional it was, but like the couple of the ISU gang. We have people that are from ISU that do drumline and indoor, and they all come together. So like the ISU gang was like driving from ISU or whatever, because they had a concert, and dude, we had to tune drums. You know this story. I told you this, but yeah, we had to tune drums, dude. And I had to wait for our section leader, which was Beryl, because him and I said, like, we'll tune drums or whatever. Bro, 3 a.m. Me and Beryl were up till 3 a.m.
Everyone else is asleep.
Everyone's freaking sleeping. Everyone's sleeping, bro. Rest of the bass line's sleeping. Everyone's gone. Everyone's sleeping. It's like 3 a.m. Beryl and I finally finished tuning drums. Perfect. I mean, we're playing eights.
Yeah.
At like 2 a.m. at like not super loud, but enough to hear the drums. And Taryn came in because he's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, tuning drums. Come help. But this was at like 1. And like that's when everyone was starting to settle down, and he was like, I'm going to bed, and I'm like, all right, well, these need to be done. So we tuned drums till 3 a.m. Guess what time we had to get up?
7, 6.
I wish
5.
Yep, we got up at 5 o'clock. I slept 2 hours,
and then
the night of the region
marched to show,
and then had rehearsal. I slept 1 more hour after rehearsal. I didn't eat. I slept another hour after rehearsal,
Mm-hmm.
and then another show, and then we left.
Dang. You have no time
No, dude.
to explore.
No, it's so scheduled and structured. Like
Mhm.
I wish we had free time like
Yeah.
you guys did.
It's nice because like last year, me and one of the guys that I was staying with in the room, we would just like go to this sort of local cafe every morning and
Nice.
get some breakfast, get some coffee. But yeah, like I was gonna say with St. Louis, it's like got a cool kind of vibe. It's not as much as I love Chicago. It's
Yeah.
not like as big of a city as Chicago. And when we go there over spring break, there's like no one there.
Yeah.
There's no cars on the street. It feels like it's just us, like
Have you
just
guys
the
been-
basketball teams.
Have you guys been to the Arch?
Yeah, we went to the Arch.
This is my experience with the Arch. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, there's the Arch.
Guys, look, it's the Arch.
Wow.
And back to sleep.
But yeah, we've done the Arch. We did what's called the City Museum,
Okay.
which is basically I don't know. I think it's made for like little kids, but a bunch of college kids went there, and it's like a bunch of like crazy jungle gyms and like random like
oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
kind of stuff that you can like climb around in and
Like
like
sciencey
run
stuff,
around
right?
and yeah. But you know, they just like set us loose there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Some people really get into it and like go climb all this stuff and
Yeah.
you know.
So yeah, the only free time we have is like at WGI finals.
Yeah.
Like they're like, okay, well here we are at WGI.
We don't play until you
Yeah,
know.
not even that, dude. Like the days we don't play, it's like, all right, like
Yeah.
this is what I brought you here for. Like you spend
Do
all
it.
day. So dude, we literally watch Drumline and Drum Corps and
Well,
drum
that's like a
stuff
huge,
all freaking day.
you know,
Yeah,
WGI finals. It's like
yeah, like we watch all day, bro. And like they have the giant tent, which is such a bad idea because I want to buy all of the things.
everything. Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy. Like, but you know, like, and it was, yeah, it's just like that's like our free time, and it's
Yeah.
just like drums in your face all the
Uh-huh.
time. It's super sick. I love it. But
Well, yeah, WGI finals isn't bad as
No.
far as free time.
exactly
you know?
right. You know, and it's just like, and that's like also a cool part because like people have like friends in different groups and stuff.
Mhm.
So like you go and like hype up their group or like try to get them to break or whatever, which is
Yeah,
fun. But yeah, no, dude, it's also good though too. And I met EMC Productions.
Big sort of.
Yeah,
I think the biggest marching band YouTuber or drumline
Yeah,
YouTuber.
I would say so.
Yeah, at
Well,
least right now.
yeah, dude. Like I was so freaking scared. I think we were watching Dartmouth High
Uh-huh.
School. They done like the poker show,
Okay.
and he's like filming the basses, and I'm like this far away from him, and I'm like watching the basses because no one else is giving bass any love.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I try to give bass some love, and I'm like, damn, like they're really good. And like there's this other guy that comes up to me and he's like filming them. I'm like,
Wait,
wait.
that's
I'm like,
I've seen you on the internet.
yeah. And dude, I didn't say anything to him. I waved. I was like,
Do you wave back?
no. He was like doing stuff for his videos.
Okay, yeah.
But there's a clip in his video, like a short 30-second clip. I'm
Mhm.
not in it, unfortunately, but it's him and I watching the freaking basses.
like if the camera were turned,
like just a little bit to
It
the
would be
left,
you.
he would have seen me.
that's
yeah.
funny.
And like, dude, I watched that video when it came out too. I was like, nah, I couldn't find
Yeah.
anything.
Oh.
But
Yeah, great. Maybe we can get him on the show.
I wish.
That would be crazy.
EMC Productions.
Yeah.
If you were listening right
Please,
now,
yeah.
please
Reach out.
We would love to have you.
Yes.
But yeah, I just saw his post on he didn't post it, but like the the Marines Corps.
Oh yeah.
They like post stuff about their drummers or whatever, and he was on it, and the whole list was just like Eric, AMC Productions.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Probably the most famous like Marine Corps drumline member, you know.
But
yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah, man, that's indoor is drumming in the gym is a weird thing.
It's very different.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
than
different
other kinds that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm. But it's also the same.
Just
too,
as fulfilling. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my WGI experience. If anybody has any other questions, they can email us or whatever.
Yeah. Anything about indoor percussion, college percussion.
Yeah. Let us know.
Just reach out. We can give you some answers.
Yeah, I mean that's about it for this episode today.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the Drum Break Podcast. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Peace out.